This is going to be your couple-minute crash course on doing some quick edits to photos in Lightroom. So I'm going to talk about two different areas. We've got a right-hand side of edits here, and within this area you'll find the basic edits, which can affect tone and presence, and even the color a little bit. The best thing I'd have you do is just to try moving a slider to see how it affects your photo. That's going to be a good way to experiment for how things are going to look in your pictures. As we move down further here, you're going to have some crazy effects that you can do. One of the new ones to Lightroom in the latest version is something called color grading. For that one, you can click and move around how the different areas of the photo are going to look with their basic colors added in. So have some fun playing around with that. You're going to be affecting the mid-tone, shadows, and highlights, all the way down to sharpening a photo, noise reduction if you have a lot of digital noise from a higher ISO, and then you can kind of move down from there to some different transformations, effects, and calibrations. Again, I just want you to try out what some of these things will do to your picture as a way of experimenting how things look. On the left-hand side, we have options such as presets that are built into our editing software here, that if you expand down the arrows, you're going to see a ton of different types of presets. Presets are edits that overlay on top of your picture. They may affect your tone and the color of the photo. You can get a preview of how that is going to look on your picture just by hovering over the preset. And then after you select one that you want to try out, just click down. It's going to affect a whole lot of things to your picture to start with, and then from there you can adjust the basic edits from there. So for example, let's go down to one of these vintage ones. If you're ever not happy with how a photo is going, by the way, you can click reset and it just brings the photo right back to the way it was to begin with. Sometimes it's fun just to try out some of these presets that are built in. So here's one in the subject of travel, but it really brings in more of a tan or brown type hue to the photo. But you see it just kind of overlays everything in the picture. It really changes it to a big degree. I can go in and do some more fine-tuned editing from there. So let's say that we're happy with how a photo looks. How are we going to export it so that it's out of Lightroom? Well, the best way to do that is just to right-click on the picture down in your timeline. If that ever disappears, there's a little arrow to pop it back up. And then you'll go to export. Okay? I usually will then click on the export option here. We can just put it on your desktop. Don't need to rename it. You might choose to put it into a folder that's like edited pictures. So if you want a desktop and then edited photos, or even just edited, you can choose a quality that makes sense for you. The larger the higher the quality, usually the better the photo, but also the larger the file size. And then click export right there. It'll show up in that folder on your desktop. You won't be able to see the edited version of the picture unless you export it out. Okay, there's a little crash course for you on some basic edits in Lightroom. I'd like you to do some experimenting today on some photos that you have on your computer and see how these different edits are going to affect how the photo looks.